Greetings folks, welcome to another chat from the engineering desk. Today is part 2 of the series on the rain gauge. We're going to be taking a look at the physical construction of the rain gauge. Going to have a look at how I hooked it up to the Arduino, which is also part of another project. Going to have a look at the code in the Arduino, as well as some data capture software that I developed for the PC side of it, so that some data capture can be done, graphs can be drawn off the data captured and so forth. So let's get started. Right folks, and here we have it, a complete rain gauge. Let's just move that to one side. So there's the funnel. Put that to one side. What I'm going to do now is remove the housing like that, so that you can see what's inside it. And there's the emitter, and there's the receiver. This unit then rocked like that. And added 1 millimeter for each count. So that's what that looked like. Next, let's see if I can drag in the instrument itself. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So there's the instrument itself. Yeah, I've got it the right way around. So let's get rid of that reflection. So as I tip it, you can see it adding 1 millimeter each time. Now the reason it takes a second to update is because there's a delay in my transmission that I send to the PC, which happens once a second. So what I'm going to do, take that out, put that aside. Alrighty, now let's have a look at the PC code itself. Alright, before we start talking about the code in the Arduino, let's have a quick look at the wiring. I've taken 5 volts out, taken it through 330 ohm current limiting resistor for the transmitter LED, and a 3K3 resistor which biases the phototransistor, and that then goes to analog input 1 on our Arduino Uno, and that's the wiring. Alright, let's have a look at the Arduino code next. So over here I've got my sketch open, and over here, so we have set the analog pin to analog input 1, sensor value initialized, rainfall initialized, and then my count latch initialized. What I do next is this bit of code. It has a look to see what the position of the tipping bucket is on startup. I've got some hysteresis in it. Between 0 and 1000 are the values that we're looking at on the sensor value. Now with it blocked by the bucket, I get about 100 back, and when it's not obscured by the bucket, a value of about 900 to 1000 comes back. So you've used 450 and 550 as hysteresis values for setting that latch. So next let's go to where we do a bit of counting, which we are going to do over here. Alright, here we do the counting. So if that analog value goes over 550, I'll set the counter latch and I add 1 to rainfall. Similarly, if it goes below it, it's counted to 0 and it adds 1 to rainfall and it sets the latch. So every time it comes past and checks, which is once a second, it has a look to see has the value gone below and had it previously done a count. Then on my serial monitor out, I send temperature, I send humidity and rainfall along with their characters, degrees C, percentage and millimeter. And then you'll notice that I'm sending an exclamation mark, and that is the separator in the string that I'm sending to my PC software to watch out for, so that it can separate the values. We'll get to talk about that in a minute. And then going back up here on our LCD screen, line 1, position 1, we print rain, space and millimeter. Line 1, position 0. Then in line 1, position 5, I print the rainfall, so it puts it there in between those two on the LCD screen. In line 1, position 12, the counted value. I was using this for a bit of debugging as well. That's our rainfall on the second line. On the first line there's humidity and temperature. Here's temperature over here. So it sends that out. It sends out temp, humidity and rainfall. That I will later remove because I don't need that debug information at this stage. Well, the long and the short of the Arduino code at this stage. Right, now we're going to talk about the PC software. So over here on COM port 7, it receives data in from the Arduino, which is a USB serial port. I've got some indicator lamps there, and over there it indicates the entire string that has come in. I'll then send the clock pulse from each transmission into an 8-bit counter, which then divides up the transmissions, and every 64 transmissions it adds one to this table. Over here the string gets split up into the 3 values that I'm sending, which is temperature, humidity and rainfall. Then I've got an analog instrument as well for the temperature. So let's have a look at our front panel. It appeared. So hit F9 starts it, and then here comes the data. We've got our temperature, our humidity, and then some rainfall, which has got to 0, which is mounted 0 because we've reset the Arduino. Now if I click on the pin status, I can actually see what the counter is doing as well. And if you wait a little while, we'll see it bring in some data into the table. That should happen right about now. So that's brought in temperature, humidity, rainfall, and there's a time and date stamp on it. Now if I want to export this data to have a look at it in Excel, I right click and I say export, and it'll then give me the option to save it as a comma delimited text file. Now I'm going to, for our example, use this data which I recorded earlier in the week. So I'm just going to escape that. Now let's go over here. I'm going to open up that text file. This data from 48 hours. So on the 5th I started this, and then this morning, this afternoon, ended the recording. Now I'm going to change it to a CSV format. CSV. Going to close that. And I'm going to open it up here. Put that away. Go offline with that. Hit escape. Right, here's our Excel. Now what I want to do is select those first 3 columns and let's add a chart. Nice. Let's make that dark. Make it a bit bigger so that everybody can see. Made it too big. Okay. So temperature. So there's our graph in a nutshell. Earlier today as well, the air conditioner was running before I started recording this video. And that's how you get this into your Excel spreadsheet. So I'm just going to save this into the appropriate format, and now it can later be retrieved. So that was the Profilab software, and how we use that to get the data in. And I think that was pretty much it that we had to talk about for the rest of this video. So I hope you enjoyed that. Excuse the faffing around at certain points. That certainly makes for an interesting video. Any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll get back to you. And for the rest, be safe, take care, see you next time. Cheers.